What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and welcome back to our Life is Strange community series, a community series that airs every other week on our channel where I talk about all things Life is Strange. Now, if you're new here, or even if you have seen a bunch of my other Life is Strange videos, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell icon so you guys know when all of them go out. Now, in this video, I want to keep going on with talking about maybe like the theme of Life is Strange Season 2. Now, I'm going to be a little bit more fair in this video. I'm going to actually criticize it towards the second half of the video, but I want to just start off by saying just a prediction, a theory, that one of the two brothers are going to kill each other, one or the other. And maybe not even a theory, maybe just more of a prediction, because it does seem like that is where this season's going. And we'll talk about if that's even a good idea towards the end of this video. But honestly, from the very first episode, and honestly, even to make this season different from the first season, to make it where the brothers turn on each other was a thing that I think it was pretty obvious that could happen. And we see, more and more as these episodes go on, the relationship between these two brothers, they try and make it strong, or at least Sean says, like, we're brothers. We're always going to be around. I always have to protect you, and we're going to make it to Mexico together and all this stuff. They try and do that, but when you really look at it, the harsh truth of it is Daniel has the powers. He's young, he's naive, he's stupid in my opinion. He's not a good listener, but he's 9 years old, right? And he has all these powers, and he's growing distant from Sean, right? He thinks that he's grown up now. He thinks that he's a grown up. He can make his own decisions. He has these powers. He's not afraid to use them, things like that. And meanwhile, Sean, with a lack of personality that he has, he's not really being there for his younger brother. Other people are kind of stepping up to fill that brother mentality and kind of getting into Daniel's mind and convincing him to do things that otherwise maybe he wouldn't, or Sean would tell him not to. And you just have this relationship that's being strained and being broken apart, and that is a thing that obviously has been hinted at and also done over these 3 episodes, and you see it more and more and more, and I've criticized it more and more as these episodes go on, as these brothers have more of the exact same conversations that they either had 10 minutes ago or they had an episode ago, right, where they just talk about, like, Daniel, you're not the same person you used to be, or you never would have done this, like those kind of things. And that's actually how Sean talks too. But you hear these conversations over and over again in the game, and now we get to the end of episode 3, and really, no matter how it plays out still with Sean and Daniel being separated. Daniel either is going to be extremely, extremely mad at you, or maybe just not as mad at you. But either way, you don't end episode 3 off on a good note, right? Episode 3 kind of ends on a pretty sour note for the two brothers, and you have to imagine, at least from the very, very small glimpse that we saw of episode 4. Now, maybe by the time this video is going up, there is a new trailer out, but in terms of when I'm recording this, I'm recording it pretty early. There's no trailer, there's nothing. So this is just, again, prediction, me speculating. The only thing I've seen is that, teaser for episode 4 at the end of episode 3, and that's just Sean walking on his own. So will they meet back up? I have to think they will. I have to think episode 4 is probably going to be them apart from each other, and then they're going to come back for episode 5. Whether in episode 5 they're going to have to make a tough decision or not, I feel like it's kind of been set up so that Daniel will kill Sean, because it just seems like that. He's got the powers. It's easiest for him to do that. But he's also 9. He's the younger brother. He's not he's not smart. So I feel like it could be set up to make him do that. And we've talked about that. Maybe that makes him a villain role. Maybe that sets up Life is Strange 3 for some sort of fantasy, fan fiction, literally, that I would want, of Max being a good person, the protagonist, and Daniel being the villain. And how do you make him be the villain? Well, maybe if he kills Sean, he goes completely over the deep end, he could be a villain. But I don't know if that's the story Don't Nod's telling. I don't think that is where they would want this to go. I feel like it's just about the themes of being on the run, and Trump's America, and all these other stupid things that they've made this season about, other than the main story. I feel like, I don't really think that they're really going for that. I don't think they're trying to set it up to be like, honestly, I would kind of want it to be like an Unbreakable, Glass, those kind of things, Split. It's kind of literally exactly that. I want season 1 to be a story of Max. I want her to be the good, good girl or good guy, right? And she is. And now we get season 2 where we get a person you maybe think he's good, but he turns. And now, obviously, that's not how Split was. You kind of knew McAvoy was bad, but Daniel, he's having this tough relationship with his brother. He gets powers. He goes down a dark road, and he ends the season being basically a villain, basically just going off and doing whatever he wants to do. And he's 9 years old. If there's a time skip of like 3, 4, 5 years before into season 3, if he's like a middle teen, if he's like 14, 15 years old, he could have gone through quite a bit. He could have seen a lot of things and heard a lot of things from people that he could be pretty bad, right? And so I think that sets it up for a pretty cool third season where maybe you do have a good versus bad. But I feel like I'm thinking way too into that. I can make a video about that if you guys want me to, but that would be where I would go for a season 3. I don't think that's how it's going to go. But if Daniel did kill Sean, I feel like that would be a push in that direction. So I would like to believe that they have that in mind if that happens. At the same time, maybe they're setting it up for that to then just pull a 180 and do that kind of cheap shot at us and have Sean kill Daniel. Maybe Daniel does one of those meltdowns on him and lifts a tree up, and you're like, ooh, he can lift a tree. And then, they go through some falling out, and then when Daniel's asleep, Sean maybe just kills him in his sleep. Because you really can't kill Daniel, I feel, in a 1-to-1 match. Otherwise, he's just going to use his powers to beat you. But if you do it when he's sleeping, then obviously I think that is how they would do it. If Sean were to kill Daniel, I do believe it would be in his sleep, because then you can kind of see Sean going through some sort of emotion that they would put on his face. So is it possible? Yeah, I think it's leading up to one of those two. I'd honestly be more surprised if neither brother died than if one or the other, or even both did. I think they're honestly setting up for one of them to die. Which one? I feel like they're setting it up for Daniel to kill Sean, and like I said, then maybe they would do that 180 and have Sean kill Daniel. Either way, and here's the question, is that a good thing? It's tough. You guys know, if you guys have watched my videos, if you know who I am, leave that dislike, and then once you're done, keep listening to me. Here's the thing. Again, predictable. I thought that in episode 1, I thought that could be where they're going. It's like, okay, once we kind of find out that Daniel's the one with the powers and their relationship gets strained, it's like, well, could he kill his own brother? Like, is that something that could happen? And it's like, for my fan fiction season 3, I think it would be cool for Daniel to kill Sean and then be evil and then go into a season 3 where it's good versus evil. So in that way, I'd be okay with it. But if they're going to just do it to do it and not have these characters again in season 3 and again make season 3 just a completely new cast of characters, if they're going to do that, then no, I don't want this to happen. I think that's way too predictable. And if Sean kills Daniel, again, it's like the predictability and the way that they're going with this season doesn't leave anything up to theories and these small clues. Again, I go back. Think of Life is Strange. I know everybody suddenly just hates the first season. That's a great thing that I've seen in so many comments all of a sudden, how bad season 1 is because season 2 is so great. Season 1 at least had all these fan theories, and you could go on YouTube in between the episodes and you would, between the episodes releasing, and you would see so many people talking about theories of Rachel as Max and time travel, and is Max not even real because of the doe on Jane Doe on her shirt, and so many things like that. There were so many theories. There'd be dozens of really, really good theories in between every episode, and ultimately Don't Not, I believe, dropped the ball by not doing any of them and just doing their own thing, and they kind of broke their own rules in episode 5, but at least there were cool fan theories, and at least Don't Not had the episodes kind of be presented in a way where there were hints and there were ideas that could be those theories. They could be right. Season 2, there's really nothing. It's kind of just like they show you it and this is how it's going to be. Like they're not hiding their intentions on anything. They're not hiding, I feel like, where the story is going. They're not hiding the major themes. They're not, and there's really no creative aspect to it. Daniel basically can use the Force. It's not, and I feel like that is probably the first problem. It's not as interesting and as weird as time travel. Time travel, depending on how you're telling your story, there's different iterations of how you can use time travel, and we didn't really know how, what it meant or how Max could use it or what the rules were. And I feel like that's what this one's missing, because it's not something creative like time travel. It's more like the Force. He can literally use the Force, and it's like, well, we know how that works because we've seen Star Wars. So that's just my opinion. Again, after you guys leave the dislike, make make sure you actually hear me out all the way through. But thank you so much for watching. Those that actually do just come here to listen to my opinions, listen to my thoughts, I greatly appreciate it. And guys, one way or another, we're all fans of Life is Strange. So in the description below, there is a link to GamesFly. The link itself is for a 30-day trial where you can rent one movie or one game at a time through GamesFly. And again, you guys can opt out anytime after the 30 days are done. It's going to put you in a kind of a monthly subscription where you have to pay money. You guys can opt out before it gets there, so you don't have to end up paying anything. But even just through the link in the description below, you guys can get any game you want, you know, renting any game you want for a full month for absolutely free. It helps the channel out if you do it. I'd very much appreciate it. Again, these videos go up every other week on our channel. I'm going to be continuing talking about this all the way through episode 4 and through episode 5. I'm very excited. I like making these videos. I like giving my thoughts, and I really do appreciate those who watch this. Even if they have a difference of opinions to me, at least they watch it and understand where I'm coming from. So I greatly appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video.